My name's Dave. Today we're going to be talking about lipos and chargers and charging lipos with chargers. So the RDX Pro can charge up to 10 amps, which is good for using high milliamp batteries. It'll charge fairly quick with the higher milliamp. So we got a couple batteries here. A 3-cell Ace 4000 milliamp. Now, when it comes to looking at batteries, there's a couple numbers you want to look at, and the biggest one, or the most popular one to look at, is your milliamp. Your milliamp is essentially the runtime that you will get. It's basically like your gas tank in your car. The higher the milliamp, the more your vehicle will run for. One of the other numbers to look at is your voltage. So with a 2-cell, you're looking at 7.4 volts. A 3-cell is 11.1 volts. 4-cell is 14.8 volts. And basically, another way to look at it is if you look at like this battery right here, this is a 3-cell, and you can actually see each individual cell that are soldered together to give you one battery. Now, the other number to look at when it comes to batteries is your C rating. Essentially, the C rating is how much power, how much acceleration you can really give it, and how much punch you can get out of the battery without any worry of the battery puffing. With a lower C count or a lower C rating, if you give it full throttle, it's not going to draw as much power out of that battery as fast as a higher C rating will. So it is definitely good to have a higher C rating when it comes to batteries. We have two different batteries here, and the reason for that is we have this Ace battery, which has a pretty general plug, an XT60 on it, and then also a balance plug. Now, the balance plug is, we'll get to more of that when we plug it into the charger, but essentially you plug this in to the charger and it helps keep all the 3 cells around the same voltage. Now, with the Traxxas batteries, they have what's called the ID plug, which means they have your standard Traxxas end, and then rather than having the white balance lead, they are actually, the balance lead is actually built into the plug itself. So when using the Traxxas EZ Peak Charger or any of their other chargers, this, when you plug it in, will automatically detect, or the charger will automatically detect that you have a Traxxas Lipo battery. So with the Traxxas ID battery, these are made more specifically for using with the EZ Peak and other Traxxas chargers. It is as simple as just plugging it in, and then all the lights will indicate that it is a Lipo battery, and you're going to be balancing it. And then at that point, all you do is hit and hold down start, and it is charging. It's as easy as that. Alright, so now that we saw how the EZ Peak Charger works with just the Traxxas batteries, we'll jump into the Ace battery with the high-tech charger and kind of go over a little bit how we can use both these batteries on this charger. So first you're going to want to plug in your balance plug, just like that. And then for your charge leads, you always want to make sure that you plug in your charge lead first before charging in your battery, because if you were to ever plug in your battery first, then that automatically makes these plugs live, and if they touch, they can spark and they can be dangerous, and they can ruin your battery. So don't ever do that. Make sure that you plug them into your charger before plugging them into your battery. So now with the XT60s, we plug those in, and on your balance plug, your balance board, you will see 6 different slots, 5 different slots. One for a 2-cell, one for a 3-cell, one for a 4-cell, one for a 5-cell, and one for a 6-cell Lipo.
Tilt it back a little. There you go.
So with these, that is where your balance plug will plug into. The balance plug will only plug into where it's supposed to plug in. So with this being a 3-cell, we will plug this into our 3S, and voila, now we are officially plugged in. And then you're going to want to, for the high tech, you'll hit start. The high tech has several different features, but right now we're kind of talking about the batteries, but we'll go over the initial setup. So we're going to want to select that first spot. It is a Lipo battery, so we're good there. And then we're going to want to change that to a 3-cell. The mode is charge. And then moving on to the current. Now the rule of thumb is basically you charge 1 amp for every 1,000 milliamp. So that means if you have a 4,000 milliamp battery, you can charge it 4 amps. If you have a 5,000 milliamp battery, you can charge it 5 amps, and so on. So we are going to click that and change that to 4. And then once you get all that done, you will hold down the start button. It'll say battery check, confirm, you hit start, and you are officially charging your battery. Woo, go you. With this charger, this high-tech charger is very similar to most other chargers as far as having your start and enter, stop, and battery type, up and down. So on most battery chargers, you will typically hold down the start button and go through this same process or a very similar process, not just this charger specifically. Alright, so now when you're charging batteries, it's typically a good practice to use something like a Lipo battery or Lipo bag. They come in a couple different sizes. There's also the Bat Safe is another popular item where you can actually put your whole charger and everything in there just in case anything were to ever happen. Because if you do something wrong or one of these batteries shorts out, it can end bad. So now I showed you that the Traxxas battery will work with the Traxxas charger. Now I'll show you how the Traxxas battery can actually work with this high-tech charger that we have. So we're going to pick up our progressive RC adapter, which will then adapt us from XT60 to Traxxas. Now with the ID lead on the Traxxas, that means we do not have a balance plug like the Gens Ace. So there's nothing to plug into, and without plugging into the balance plug, this battery will not charge on this charger. So we have to pick up another item from Progressive RC, which actually converts the ID charger, the ID plug, over to a regular standard Traxxas plug with a 2-cell balance lead. They also make these adapters, these converters for 2, 3, and 4S. So you can use any of the batteries that Traxxas makes. It is definitely a helpful tool. So Then again, we plug it in and plug in the balance lead. Again, plugging it into the 2-cell because this is a 2-cell battery. And then you'll come over here, you'll select, that's already on LiPo, and then you'll actually change the cell count to 2-cell. Then hit start. And then since this is actually a 5800 milliamp, that means we can change this, the amp rating, all the way up to 5.8. So we can charge this battery at 5.8 amps, and now we hold down the start button. It'll say battery check, confirm, and we are charging our Traxxas battery on a high-tech charger. The high-tech RDX Pro.
Extreme close up.